Hello everybody, hope you're all keeping very well. Well, what mixed weather have we had recently? It's just been crazy, hasn't it really? Today's a glorious day. Last couple of days it's just bucketed down, hasn't it? It's been terrible, awful weather. But I suppose we've got to be grateful that we haven't got the severe heat which Europe is having at the moment, and of course America as well. So just hope everybody is very safe out there at the moment. So lots of things to highlight with you at the moment. So what's been happening here at Specialist Cars, and I'll take on to Harris Motor Company. So I've had a very busy month again, so thank you to all those raving fans who bought cars off me. I'm so grateful that you keep coming back, and so many new customers I've gained. It really is the joy of this. Actually, this is what I love about it, meeting so many different people from all over the country. It really gives me great pleasure to meet so many people who become friends actually over the years, as you've known. And of course all those people who keep selling cars to me, those nice cars, and I'm always searching, looking for nice cars. But sometimes valuations are all over the place, everybody knows. So there's so many websites out there, and I'll make no bones about it. You know, you go on there, you put your registration number in, your mileage in, and some details about the condition of the car, and you get a price. It's a bucket price, but that's all it is. It's not based actually on the car itself. So some of these figures or online valuations are way up there, which sadly the customers never achieve. So just be careful putting your registration number details there, which is great. It gives you a bit of a valuation, but sometimes it's so high, it's ridiculously high. And on the opposite scale, it's so low because the algorithms don't actually work out the full spec of the car. So it never takes into account what the full details are. So an example is the Range Rover behind me, which it'll never take into account all the options, the accessories, the special edition that is. So the valuation might be low for that car. So as you know, every single car that I buy, I will evaluate on what it is, the facts about it, which is the number of owners, the service history, the condition, the owner of the vehicle. So all that goes into the equation of why I will pay more for that car if I want it. So if it's a nice car that ticks the boxes for me, I'll almost guarantee that nobody else could beat my price. If it's your pride and joy, I want it. As simple as that really. If it's an average car, high miles, tiny history, knocks and bangs and whatever, then it's not for me. I do not buy any car, I just buy nice cars. So that's the message I've been drumming away for 26 years now, and that's the message I continue to do so. So if you want a nice car to sell me, I'll happily buy it. Doesn't matter the age of it, if it's an older car, as long as it's been looked after and it's nice, please sell it to me. Simple as that really. And I'll pay the most price because retail customers will want my cars off me. So a lot of the other sites are probably auction sites where they sell the cars onto the auctions and other dealers bid for it. So if you want an accurate figure, give me a shout. And remember, all these prices, which are high inflated figures, when they actually see the car, sadly the customers don't actually get those prices from those dealers. So just be careful when you're getting valuations of cars. And of course, the opposite is when you're actually looking to buy a car. I mean, there's, I think on Auto Trader, nearly 500,000 cars. Yep, 500,000 cars for sale at any one time, ranging from virtually brand new or nearly new to something very old, maybe an old classic that's worth a fortune, or just an old banger, so whatever there. So vast choice. And in this world of transparency, we think all the cars look great. The pictures are fantastic, aren't they, of every car? And I get told so many times by so many customers, they've travelled to see a car and it's nothing like the pictures, or the mileage is wrong. The history is not what they've told you. And that's why I go to that extra length to do a full HD video of every single car, so you know exactly what the car is going to be like even before you leave your home. So I don't believe in people wasting other people's time. Time is money, and obviously distances people travel. So I'll do the videos, I'll do 100+ images, I'll give you that good description. I'll even send you a personalised video if you want one. Happy to do that because I have nothing to hide. Full transparency of every single vehicle. So obviously if you're shopping about, you want to buy the best, of course you want it for the best price. So remember, price isn't always the best. both ways. Just because the high price does not mean it's the best car, and vice versa. So if you're looking at cars, just make sure you do your full checks, full due diligence on every single car that you're looking at, to make sure you're buying what you think you're buying. Happy to help with any valuations. If I haven't got a car and you've spotted something elsewhere and you want a bit of a tip or advice, please feel free to give me a shout. And remember, all these people who say the car history is online, make sure you get a printout so you know exactly what that car has been serviced on time or on mileages or whatever the state to be on that one. So this online is not always accurate of what you may be told by some of the selling people. It could be dealers, it could be private individuals, it could be anybody. So just make sure you know what you're getting. So valuations recently have been all over the place. They've been very, very high, as you all know. The prices have gone through the roof. They've been coming down sort of bit by bit. They've been steadying out. And they're not going up anymore, but they're not dropping. The prices are still very steady. Quality cars are very short at the moment. Just think back to 2020, 2021. New cars were hardly registered. So any 2-3-year-old cars are in short supply. So I've said this before, if you see a car and it fits all the boxes for you, you might think the price is high, but there might be no other one in competition. Just buy it. Just buy it, because there's none of these cars about. So if you fancy it, just buy it. Simple as that, really. That's my best advice I can give you on that one. Yeah, don't think you can shop about and start knocking prices because there's nothing about. So you have to pay that as the going price. That's what it is. It's as simple as that. And sometimes it's a bitter pill to swallow, but if you want that car, just get it pulled. Lots of people have been asking me about EVs. What are my thoughts on EVs? And I've said this before. I've not had many EVs at all, to be honest with you. I've had quite a few hybrids. There's a hybrid straight behind me there. No problems whatsoever. The EV market is probably quite buoyant in big cities like London, but certainly up here in Stoke-on-Trent is not as buoyant. And the values have been tumbling. They really have been. You know, Tesla came out a bit of a war in December, I think it was December, January, and they reduced massive prices on Teslas. So literally, I think it was 9, 10, 12,000 pounds. They knocked off brand new ones, and the EV market has been tumbling. The prices have been coming down and down and down. Personally, I think they were overpriced. And when you look at the price of a little Corsa, it's £30,000 plus, I believe a brand new one is. So when you look at the price of cars, of the electric ones, they've been very expensive. And of course, there's been talk about the range. If you're doing lots of miles, you've got to be careful with the range anxiety. As long as you plan your journeys and the EV charging stations are working and they are where they're supposed to be, there's not a problem. But I think that the issue we've got at the moment with most people is the fact that it's a petrol or diesel. You know you're going to get the fuel, you know how long the range is, but the EV is not quite up to there. So again, with the EV situation, as most of you are aware, you know, if it's a cold day, you put the heating on, you've got the radio on, the range starts coming down because obviously it's used the battery power. But I believe long term, I think the values will still keep coming down to the point where they become great value for money. And then I believe the market will start going back up again. That's my thoughts. I've said it before. A bit like quite a few years ago, the big V8s, nobody wanted the big 4x4s because the road tax went through the roof and the prices came tumbling down and nobody wanted big 4x4s. Then all of a sudden they came to a level where everybody thought, wow, that is great value for money, and the prices went back up again because there's a shortage of these cars. So I believe that's what the EV market will do. I'm not anti-EV. I just think it suits some people, not everybody. If you're doing lots of local journeys, not big distances, it could be ideal as long as the price is right for that EV. And I believe the prices will be right shortly on that one. I did a video about servicing literally a few days ago. Some of you may have seen it, about a pollen filter. Now, good morning, it's Umesh from Specialist Cars and Harris Motor Company. So the importance of having your car serviced regularly. Here's a typical example. Just got a 2-year-old Kia in for a full service. So this is what a new pollen filter should look like. And this is what we've just taken out. Remember, it's only just 2 years old. That is absolutely filthy. So just make sure your cars are regularly serviced. You'll be breathing in fresh air as opposed to all the junk through that. Old, new, new, old. Now, we get asked so many times about how much is a service, and I'm like an old stock record. It's difficult to price a service on every single vehicle off the top of my head, and we get asked so many times how much is a service. You know, we'll happily quote everybody for whatever the service is required, and then we get on to what is a service. Now, different manufacturers have different timescale for changing air filters, pollen filters, brake fluid change, things like that. So the price is always difficult just to say how much is a service. And we do get quite a lot of cars a year where the customer believes they've had a full service elsewhere, they've come here and we've seen where the pollen filter hasn't been changed or the air filter hasn't been changed for a number of years. Now all these are part of the service, so it all depends on what you want doing for the service. We're trying to quote accurately for every single service that we do, and to maintain it's the right service for that vehicle at the time. Another one with petrol vehicles is spark plugs. Some vehicles will want changing at 40,000, some at 60,000. So when you're pricing a service or having your vehicle serviced, no matter where you are, just check to see what you actually get for your service. And we've seen it with quite a few main dealers where, particularly with Audi we've had recently, and I think you've seen probably videos of a few Audis that we've had here, where they're 5 or 6 years old, where the air filter has never been changed. How can that be right? After all that time, surely in the schedule it should be changed on a regular basis. You know, 5, 6 years old, no air filter. Of course, that impacts on your miles per gallon, the performance of the vehicle, and other issues which it may cause on the long term. So going back to how much is a service, it all depends what you'd like us to do for your vehicle. Simple as really. So cars, vans, pickups, please give us a shout. Happy to look after you. And of course, we've got the dedicated tyre bay. So if you want any tyres, give us a shout. And of course, MOTs. And of course, with the financial situation at the moment, we're always trying to help everybody out. But sometimes the manufacturers, suppliers put the prices up on some of the parts, which unfortunately has to be passed on everywhere. But one way we can help you is to spread the cost of the payments and the repairs. So nobody wants massive bills, but sometimes things do go wrong and none of us realise what's actually happening under the vehicle. So we had a classic one last week. A car came in for what would be just a routine MOT, and it wanted nearly £1,000 spending on it. In fact, I think it's over £1,000. You can spread that cost for up to 6 months interest-free. Yeah, interest-free. No admin fees, simply divide the invoice into 6 payments, spread the cost. Doesn't cost you anything, simple, easy, very quick to sort out as well. So if you want any help with that, please give us a shout. We're happy to help you with that one. So just before I go, let me tell you about some of the scams which are out there. Just be very, very careful. We'll want to bargain, but you have to just smell the scams between the bargains. So a lot of these have been advertised, particularly on Facebook Marketplace, some on Auto Trader, and I'm sure some of the other platforms as well. But wherever you're buying from, I'm sure the scammers are everywhere at the moment. And literally the scam is a car which is, for example, this one here, £30,000. You'll see that car actually advertised for £20,000, which is £10,000 below market value. And you'll think, wow, I found this bargain. And it'll be pictures of my car, or the description of my car, and you'll think, wow, that's legitimate, I'll buy that car. But the phone number will be different contact details, and basically they're trying to get you to part with your money for a car that you'll never see. I promise you, you will never see that bargain of a car that you think you found. So please, please, please be aware of all these scams. If it's too good to be true, as I keep saying, it always is too good to be true. So please don't get scammed. If you think you found a bargain, don't part with your money before seeing the car. That's all I can say. If it's too good to be true, just check it out and make sure you don't get scammed. So what else is happening? So as I said, we're very, very busy. Mentioned the EVs. Mentioned the payment scheme that we've got for you, which is a bumper payment scheme for you. Mentioned valuations. I'm buying cars, I'm selling cars. If you want any tips, any free advice, please just give me a shout. Happy to have a chat with you anytime. And of course, talking of chats, don't forget my door is always open, coffee's always on. Be great to see some old friends and new friends. If you want to just pop in for a chat anytime, come and say hello. That's all for now. If you want any help with anything else, give me a call, 01782 822 700. I'm all over social media. I'm over LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok recently. So please come and follow me on there. And you'll see what's exactly happening all the time in the businesses. Thanks again for keep buying and selling cars and supporting the business. I'll see you all soon. Stay safe.